since you mentioned Forest for Calum, why don't we talk about that a bit? And because to me, this is your first novel published by the CBU Press. Great accolades, sold many copies, and one of the premises in the story is a forest deliberately planted trees as the alphabet. I mean, where did that notion come from? Which to me did involve certainly some kind of thinking and planning and imagining.
Well, actually, it came. My story, my family story about Gaelic is everybody's family story about Gaelic. My grandparents were fluent. My parents couldn't speak it at all. And my grandfather was also literate in the language. And I asked my father one time, I was about 12 years old, and I was just curious, and I said, why didn't you ever learn Gaelic from your father? And he said, well, I asked him to teach me. But he sat me down, and he had me memorize the alphabet, and every letter of the alphabet is equal to the leaf of a tree, and he said I had to memorize all that, and he said it was so much like being in school that I just quit. I stopped being interested, and that stuck in my head as a piece of trivia. Thing to say now and then or what have you.
Right.
As the story began to emerge, Forest for Calum, which didn't have a title at the time, but
right.
With these characters, I got the idea for the forest because I had it since I was 12 years old. I mean, the knowledge that this, and I began writing the story, and I got to the point about the forest and tree alphabet, and I realized that I didn't have any source for this but my father.
Right.
And my father didn't always tell me the truth, Yeah. And so then I guess this needed to be true, or I could not write this novel. It's one thing to be, to write fiction, but truth is the most important aspect of fiction, and
right.
This needed to be true. So I went to some Gaelic speakers and literate that I knew, and no, never heard of it. And then I began to panic. My story's shot. And I contacted Effie Rankin in Mabu, who was the Gaelic teacher
yes.
at the school. She's from North Uist. And as soon as I mentioned, oh yes, she said, saving my life.
So this is the notion of the letters looking like the leaves.
Nope. That the letter A in Gaelic is Alm.
Oh, okay.
Right. The tree elm. Is Alm.
Right.
So if you look in a Gaelic dictionary,
right.
You'll get the letter, but you'll also get
how you say the letter, how you pronounce the letter.
Not how you pronounce it, but the next one, if you're looking at an English,
right.
Beth, B, it'll say birch.
Okay.
It'll also say B. It's also the letter B,
Right.
So it's just that the equivalent, however that tree alphabet evolved,
right.
And it didn't just evolve in the Highlands. It evolved in other parts of Europe as well. Mm-hmm. And one thing I'd read about it, whether or not it's factual, but that like if a laird wanted to send a message when they had there was no paper, there was no writing, but there was literacy.
Right.
The bard was the literate person in the clan, and if the laird wanted to send a message, he would gather leaves and arrange them, and then they would send a runner to the other clan, and by opening the leaves, you read your message.
Spelt out in leaves.
Yes. This is one of the things I had come across when I was researching it. Whether or not that's an actual truth or not,
But it's out there.
A good story's better than the truth anytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that's
But yeah, very.
but I was really gratified to discover that there was, because it did allow me to continue writing.
There was more
that
grounding
story.
for the
Yes.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very fascinating, interesting. Forest for Calum.